All right, Rob, what happens when we assume?
When we assume, I get really frustrated.
You do? What makes you frustrated when we assume?
Well, you think it's just kind of a common sense kind of thing, and the person, and it's it goes back to, for me, it's when people ask me how can I get hold of you, Rob, and we've been talking about LinkedIn for about 15 minutes, and I say just go to my contact information, and then when you've done that, and then like a month later they say, Rob, I'm trying to get hold of you, I don't have your email address, I don't have your phone number.
Yeah. So there you go. There's the assumption that we think that we know how to get in touch with somebody, or we think that their contact information should be here, but it's not. So that is a bad assumption, and that is bad networking. So we're going to talk today about networking comms, right? The communication etiquette. Don't assume that people know how to contact you. So welcome to Network Today, where we take you from meeting people to
making money
faster. And this is one, it can't be any faster than making sure that you have the right contact info in all the places.
Well, we've been doing the LinkedIn training for the last couple of years now, and you put a major emphasis on that, Cheryl, each time. And so again, when I look at people's LinkedIn profiles, I bet you 70% do not do it still.
Yeah, on LinkedIn. So that's one of the ones. But we've got multiple touch points here that you need to be aware of.
Yes.
For communication etiquette, making sure that your contact information is plain Jane, that everybody can see it, they know how to contact you, because if they can't contact you, then what?
And the other side of the coin there too, Cheryl, is what is the best way you like to be communicated to? Some people don't like to text.
Yeah, that's
true. Some people don't like email. Some people don't like voicemail. So you need to find out what the preferred method of communication is.
Yeah, and include your contact info.
And include the contact information.
It's so pivotal, and the reason this became a topic today was because I had two situations in the last week, and my mind is blown at these situations that they would even happen with professionals, right? But unfortunately, I think, and it's not, I really don't think it's their fault. I don't think it's anybody's fault, honestly, because I've probably been an offender myself. But to assume that people know how to contact us, schedule an appointment, and then you realize there's no information on how to contact that person to say, hey, I'm running late, or hey, where's the location, or whatever. So we're going to talk about those places, all the places that you need to make sure you have full contact information at all times. Have you ever had a situation where somebody scheduled an appointment with you and you're like, before the meeting place, right? Because now you just live here. I know you got a cot in the back, so everybody meets you here. But when you were actually out and you're meeting people at a restaurant and you're not sure, hey, what's the restaurant? There are two locations. Did I get the right one? Did I get the right time?
Oh, absolutely. I've embarrassed myself quite a few times. And I think it has definitely, because of those failures, is that it's really helped me then, do exactly what you're getting ready to tell us.
Yeah, that's right. So communicating and making sure in your comms that you've got proper contact information. So here, let's begin with emails.
Okay.
I get so perturbed at people. So you know how you set up your email so that your original email has your full signature line.
Right.
What should be included in a full signature line?
Well, you should have, of course, your name, maybe your title, but you should have your email address, your phone number, and now I'm seeing a lot of people putting in their LinkedIn URL.
Yes, and make sure that they know what the phone number is. That was a situation I had today. I didn't know what the person's phone number is. It just said direct.
Well, that's a good point, because you've got a company phone number, you've got a direct phone number, and then you got your cell phone number.
Yeah. So I didn't know if to text that person.
Yeah.
So that was, and especially today, now we carry our area codes around with us forever.
Right.
It's like in our DNA. So I can't assume because they're local and I see a local area code that that's a business line. Right. And that the other 832 area code would be a cell phone. I don't know.
Right.
So just don't assume. Don't assume people know how to contact you. So here's the other part of that email. So when you're setting up your email, your original email out will include this.
Right.
But then you have an option to have a secondary, so a reply email.
Right.
Should it include all of your original email information or not?
You know, I like to do it that way because when I go, especially if I don't know the person that well, I want to be able to just hit his phone number or his email right back.
Yes.
And so I don't have to spend another 15 minutes scrolling down.
Yeah.
Now, what was his email address or
Yeah.
whatever? I've spent hours just doing that.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes too, if the email thread gets so long, somebody in that email communication might delete the lower emails. And so if you have one of those email addresses that pops down to the very bottom
Right.
instead of with populated into your email.
Good point.
So that's another issue.
Good point.
That certainly I've experienced. So make sure on every single reply, and I know it can feel annoying, but maybe you have just a simple one as your
Right.
secondary reply instead of having all the, I'm not huge on all the graphics and stuff.
Right,
I'm
right.
just not,
Right.
because it junks up my email and
Right.
okay.
I
but
agree.
That's just me. But they work for some people, obviously. So that's two things. So every email communication should have at least your name and your cell phone number. And I need to put my email address in there because now that we're talking about this, I have my website. So they
Right.
could contact me through that. But I assume that people aren't going to delete my little
Right.
reply from.
Right.
And they could. Or maybe they just don't see it on their device.
Right.
So, hey, there we go. So, name, at least cell phone, I believe, and then your email address. All right, so on to cell phone. So, you're replying to an email from your cell phone.
Right.
You and I have had this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Is your contact information at the bottom? Do you have a signature line from your responsive email version? do. I put you in the hot seat, didn't I?
I do not know how to answer that because, I don't know, Cheryl. So
Okay.
I know you're going to tell me.
So have it. So you need to go into you have to set up a separate signature line through your cell phone. This has happened to me last week at least twice. I'm going to meet somebody. I'm saying, hey, I'm running 2 minutes behind, or I like to at least let them know my ETA is 11 o'clock for our 11
Right,
o'clock, right?
right.
I like to let them know that I remembered you and I'm on my way. And whoever's going to get the table first or whatever, they can get the table first. Well, they'd only replied through their cell phone through all the email texts. So excuse me. They had replied to my email from their cell phone through the whole thread of communication
Okay.
with not a single cell phone number in there at all.
Ooh.
So all I could do was hit reply to the email, but we're both on the road.
Wow,
So
good point.
that was a real problem.
And I would say more and more people right now are doing a higher percentage of emails through their cell phone.
That's right. So now let's go on to texting from your cell.
Well, I'm still learning the texting thing. So I'm a bad example of that. I'm calling the old man card out on this one, Cheryl, in the sense that, but okay, I am open-minded and I know I've got to improve and get better. But I see, I don't hear that ding, so I don't know, and then my phone doesn't show that I've got new messages.
Okay.
So I always instinctively go to emails and voicemails.
People, can we set up his notifications, please? Please.
So I am bad.
Here's what I'm saying. So I do have some people that's all they do. That kind of makes me crazy because I think that you should ask.
Right.
I prefer email so it can populate on my calendar, but I'll deal with text especially if you're really important. You're all really important. Everybody's really important. But please, when you're saying, hi, Cheryl, are we good for 11? Include my name is Simon, and I'm with this company, because we got a gazillion meetings going on. I don't know who you are. You look like, I mean, it could be in today's world something freaky.
Well, that happened to me this morning, where I had to call the HVAC guy for the building because it was freezing cold, and we had just exchanged phone numbers for this exact reason, and so I text him, and he texts back saying, "Who in the heck is this?" And it's because last week when we said we're going to do it, he said, "Rob, I'm going to text you my number, reply back," and I didn't reply back.
Yeah. So when this is one of the habits I've gotten into. Hi, Neil. This is Cheryl Powers, and we met blah, 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 right? Or we wanted to discuss whatever. So that's always sitting there in the text. Then later on, if months go by, make sure you do it again.
Yeah.
Because they could have lost their phone. I know that's happened to me. And I have people texting me, and I'm like, "Who the flip are you? I don't know who you are." So that's the text advice. Make sure you have contact info in that text and include a cell phone number in there. Okay, LinkedIn. Direct messaging. So I know we talked about your LinkedIn profile, having your contact information in there. But having your contact information in the DMing.
Yeah.
So any social media DMing, make sure you've got your email address in there. It makes me crazy when people are like, "Yeah, I'll see you at 11." And I'm like, "What? No calendar invite? No, I have all I have is your direct messaging." So that makes me crazy. Biz card. Have a cell and email. I was scanning them all into HubSpot, so I started seeing kind of the percentage. It wasn't a huge percent, but probably 10% of the cards I had only had a company. It would be like info at whatever their company.
Oh, okay.
That's not it. That's, to me, is not an email.
Right. Totally agree.
So that's a problem. And again, differentiate what kind of number it is. C or an M for mobile cell, right? Or O for office. It's C or M or O for office, right? Make sure that's on your business card. Lastly, I need to touch on this, Rob. Can I share some dirty laundry?
Yep.
Are you sure?
I am. I'm an open book.
Do you have some dirty laundry of your own? I see you have some notes there in your pad. So this is why this became such an important thing for me. I was jammed up with appointments. I bet I had 7 Zoom calls on a Friday. It was nuts, like back to back to back. It was exhilarating and exhausting. Well, one of those was somebody had DM'd me on LinkedIn, and so I had to schedule through their Calendly. Judges, the judgment on my end is still out. The jury's still out for me on that. But I had to book through their Calendly. Well, it went onto my calendar probably 4 or 6 weeks before the appointment, right? Because we booked it that far out. So here comes a Friday. I see this weird meeting, and I can't make it, but there's no name on it. Ugh. Here's what it said: meeting with, and the name of their company. I have no idea who they are. They haven't emailed me. I haven't gotten a text. I have to go through all my DMs on LinkedIn. I have to try to put the company name in and cross-reference and find this person. I was infuriated. I had to go 6 weeks back on DMs to go find this person and then say, "Hey, look, I didn't have any way to contact you." So, note to self. Now, I could have very easily, had I had Calendly, done the same thing. Right. So I want to give people grace for doing that. But just be really conscious of what somebody's seeing on the other end. So it populates their calendar. You should, in the bottom, have an automatic, because I've seen this with other people with Calendly, it should populate your contact information. So, and the notes on why we're meeting.
Right. No, I totally agree. This is a very important subject. All the things that you've listed there, I mean, I have flubbed every single one of them. And I've picked up a couple of tips right now that I got to go back to my desk at the end of the show and get improved. But it's a very serious thing, because, again, we're all going so fast.
Yeah.
And because we're using multiple ways to communicate, that it can be very, very confusing. And so we've got to be put the signature lines in there, put the contact information in there, or we're going to continue having these problems. And again, it's just not the way to do business.
One of the things that help you get better at doing this, get the free HubSpot version, download the mobile app, and begin to scan in other people's business cards. It will begin to show you who's really good at this and who's not.
Okay.
Right? It showed
Good
me.
point. Yeah.
It made me rethink things myself.
good point.
So we're here to all get better together.
Yes.
Is that cool? Is that
Absolutely.
that cool?
Great discussion.
All right, action item. Susie, wrap.
Well, to me, the action item again is number one is just know your platforms that you're using and populate your contact information in them.
Mm-hmm.
And action item number two is just do it.
Just do it. Is there a book that says just do it?
Exactly.
What's the book? What would be the book?
What the Nike book?
You have a Nike book? Just do it?
No.
Okay.
I can't-
Surely.
Yeah, we do have it. Something shoes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, come on, G. G, help me out here.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll save it for another episode. We're out of time, my friend.
All right. But great. This has been a great episode, Cheryl. It's a great reminder for all of us. Get our contact information on all the platforms we use.
Yeah, so this is very granular, but if you don't have contact information, let me tell you the referrals won't come. So
Well, it's proper etiquette.
it is indeed.
You know?
All right.
All
So
right, here we
cheers,
go.
my friend.
Cheers. Have a great rest of
All
the week,
right.
Cheryl.
Welcome to Network Today, where we take you from meeting people
To
to
making money.
and we will see you next week.